the three-dimension rotation, where I told you that here the view of the user will come into play. If it is looking towards the origin, we will get three kinds of rotation when is looking along the z-axis, when is looking along the x-axis, and when is looking along the y-axis. So for these three things, for these three views, we will get different rotation formulas like when it is along the when is looking along the z-axis, when he is looking along the z-axis, the formula will be something like z dash is equal to z, where x dash is equal to x cos theta minus y sin theta, and y dash is equal to x cos theta plus x sin theta plus y cos theta. Similarly, when is looking along the x-axis, x dash will be equal to x and y dash is equal to y cos theta minus z sin theta, and z dash is equal to y sin theta plus z cos theta. And when it is looking along the y-axis, it will be like y dash is equal to y, and z dash is equal to z cos theta minus x sin theta, and x dash is equal to z sin theta plus x cos theta. So this is the formula representation. So the suitable so, and the corresponding representation in matrices is a transformation matrix is given here. So similarly, you can write the same thing. You can write the same thing. The transformation matrix when is looking along the x-axis can also be written. So four values. So this will be x, y, z, 1. So when is looking along the x-axis, x dash will be equal to x, y dash is equal to y cos theta minus z sin theta, and z dash is equal to y sin theta. So this will be 1. So this will be 1. So this will be 1. So the other parameters will be 0, 0, 0. So x into 1 you will get it as x dash. So see, I'm writing some values so that it will match here. And for this it will be like 0, 0. 0 into x will be 0. And again you have to get y cos theta. Y cos theta means cos theta into y. So it will be cos theta, cos theta plus something. So you need not get anything. Y cos theta minus z sin theta. So it will be minus sin theta. So I'll just rearrange this. I'll make some space for this. Make some space for this so that your people will understand it better. So x dash, y dash, z dash 1 is equal to is equal to see what I'm writing means I'm writing the matrix representation of this formula x, y, z 1. So uh, first I need x dash is equal to x, so this will be 1. The other factors will be 0, 0, 0. So in the second term, it should be y cos theta. So x factor will be 0. Then y into cos theta. So y cos theta is needed. So this will become cos theta minus z into sin theta. So this will be minus sin theta. The other term will be 0. Similarly, then the last term, it should be y sin theta. So this will be 0. Again, y sin theta plus z cos theta. So other term will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So this is how this is how you can get the matrix format. You can get the transformation matrix by looking at the equation. So this is one way. This is one way of getting this. So similarly for the z axis also. So for the y axis also you can compute. You can compute by looking at the equation x, y, z 1 is equal to. So this will be a 4 cross 4 matrix. This will be a 4 cross 4 matrix. X, Y, Z, 1. So from our understanding, the last term will be 0, 0, 0, 1. Now we need uh, we need x sine theta. So uh, we need z dash. So x dash is equal to z into sine theta plus x cos theta. So the first term will be cos theta. X is equal to, sorry, this will be x dash, x dash. So x dash is equal to x into cos theta. We got this term. X dash is equal to x cos theta 0. Y component is 0. Again for z, it is positive. So it is positive, no? It is positive means it will be sine theta. Sine theta. So x dash is equal to x cos theta 0 plus z sine theta. So the other term will be 0. Similarly, so this equation we got. So y dash is equal to y. So y dash is equal to y means we know that here 0 into x will be 0. So this component will be 1. 1 into y. The other two terms will be 0. Now we need to derive z dash. Z dash is equal to z into cos theta. Z into cos theta means the third term. So this will come. So if this will be, we are getting this z into cos theta. And this is the first term is x into sine theta minus x into sine theta. So this will be minus sine theta. So this is the transformation matrix. So by looking into the equation, you can reverse engineer it. You can represent that in the matrix format. So these are the equations when you want to perform the rotation along z axis, x axis, y axis. These are the corresponding rotation formulas, which I'm representing it in the matrix format. The matrix format. See, what I'm doing is I'm just reversing by looking into the equations. I'm getting this. I'm just representing in matrix format. So you can write x dash is equal to x cos theta plus, where is this? X dash is equal to x cos theta plus z sine theta. So third term, and z dash is equal to minus x sine theta plus z cos theta. So like this. See, by looking into the equation itself, I'm able to derive that. I'm deriving that. So like this, you can do. So I tried this. In I just looked into the equation, and that I found yesterday. I found out how we can get the formulas for this. How we can get the formulas for this. So um, this is regarding the three dimension rotation. So you just look into this for a minute. You just look into the formulas for a minute so that we can start the next one. We can start with the next concept. So we'll start with the next concept. You just look into this equation for a minute. Then we can proceed with the next step that is involved in this rotation. Okay. So the next one is um, the 3D rotation, the 3D rotation of an object which is at some particular location. So here. mm Here this object here, this pyramid object is there, no? So it is not coinciding, like it is not coinciding with any of the axes. So for this the rotation matrix for this thing uh, is the rotation matrix for this pyramid is not coordinating, or it is not coinciding with any of the coordinate axis. So this can be done. So you can perform the rotation for these kinds of object by setting up a composite transformations, like it's a combination of translation, rotation, like that. So this is not aligned to any particular axis. So for this you can perform the rotation by using the composite transformation. So composite transformation can be like, it can be a combination of translation, rotation, scaling, like that. So translation. So first what they will do means they will make this object. First step is they will make this object, or they will translate this object in such a way that it will coincide with the coordinate axis, or it will be like parallel to the coordinate axis. So you can use series of transformation to perform rotation on these kinds of object where it is not coinciding with the coordinate axis. So the first step will be to translate this object so that it will coincide with the coordinate axis, or it will be parallel to the coordinate axis. So first step will be to translate. So the first step will be to translate. The first step will be to translate this object so that the axis, so that the rotation axis, translate this object so that the rotation axis coincides with the coordinate axis, or it will be parallel to the coordinate axis. So this will be the first step. First step is to translate the object so that the rotation axis will coincide with the coordinate axis. Hmm. The second step is to perform the rotation. First step is to translate. Second step is to perform the rotation. Second step is to perform the rotation about the axis. So whatever axis is given, so if you want to perform the rotation about x-axis, you can perform about x-axis. If it is about y-axis, you can perform rotation about y-axis, and if it is a rotation about z-axis, you can perform its rotation. So rotate the object with respect to its axis. So after that, move back the object. Move the object to its original position. That is again inverse translation. Again, it is inverse translation. So we have three steps. So first step is to translate, the second step is to rotate, and the third step is to perform the inverse translation. So if I go with this image, so here it is in the original position. So this is my first step. So in first step, what they are doing, so this is my first step. So A, B, C, D. So in the first step, they are performing the translation. They are performing the translation here. So they're they are bringing the rotational axis parallel to the coordinate axis. After this, the second step, in the second step, what they are doing, they are rotating this object by an angle theta about the x-axis in our example. So you can rotate it. If it is on the z-axis, means you can rotate here. If it is on the y-axis, means you can rotate in this direction. So that is left. That is based on the axis to which it is parallel. You can perform the rotation. So after performing the rotation, they are bringing the object back to its original position. So that is inverse translation. Inverse translation. So these are the three steps. So these are the three steps that are performed. So this we will call it as the compo. This is the composite transformation that is being involved. Translation, rotation, inverse translation. So this is the step that is involved. So what they are doing means there is a point. So there is this, for example, if this is a point, this is a point which will be transformed to a new position called P dash. So what is the operation that is being involved? So first step was the translation with respect to the initial position. After translation, they performed the rotation about the axis. After rotation, they performed the inverse translation. Inverse translation. So this is the operations that is needed to bring that object from one position to another position and rotating that object. So these are the steps that are involved in the rotation of an object. So what they did, so this was my initial position and this was my final position. So I wanted to perform a rotation. So in order to perform the rotation, the first step, they did the translation to that original point. After that, rotation, then again inverse translation. So these are the three steps. These are the three steps that were involved in rotating an object from its position P to P dash. So here these three components. So this will form the composite transformation. So the composite transformation, the composite transformation here it is the rotation matrix. Here here the composite rotation matrix performs this operation. So this is the operations. So translate, rotate, inverse translate. So this you can call it as the composite transformation. So whenever you want to rotate an object about an axis, like it is parallel to some axis. So these are the steps that have been performed. So um, so P dash is the final position obtained after rotating from the initial position P. So for that, three steps are there: translate, rotate, inverse translate. So so after these three operations are performed, the transformation is done. So this you can call it as um, the composite rotation matrix for the transformation. For this transformation, we had two translation and one rotation. So that's why we'll call it as the composite rotation matrix. So here you can specify the direction also. So in our example, we were rotating about x-axis. We were rotating about x-axis. So these three composite operations can be represented by the general term r of theta is equal to inverse translation, rotation about the x-axis, then um, translation. So translation like this we can represent, like this we can uh, represent. So this is regarding, whenever you want to perform a rotation where the object axis is not coinciding with the coordinate axis. So this is a step. So there are situations where so there are situations um, where um, the object, the object you want to rotate about some particular axis will not be parallel to the coordinate axis. So you want to rotate an object about some rotation axis, but that axis is not parallel to the coordinate axis. So it is not parallel to the x-axis, it is not parallel to the y-axis, or it is not parallel to the z-axis. So in that case, you should perform additional transformations. So what is the transformation means? See, first thing is you want to rotate this. You want to rotate this um, point. You want to rotate this from the position P1. So what you want to do means, so first what you want to do means, the first thing is uh, bring this object so that the rotation axis will pass through the coordinate origin. So first thing is you move the point P1 to the origin. So first step is translation. So the first step will be to perform translation. First step will be to perform translation so that the object will be translated to the origin, so that the rotation axis will be passing through the coordinate origin. Here we are bringing the point P1 to the origin. And the second step is to perform rotation. The second step is to perform rotation so that the axis of rotation will coincide with the coordinate axis. So what we did, first thing we brought the object from here to here, then we rotated this object. Then the second step we rotated this object such that it will coincide with the coordinate axis. The axis of rotation um, will be coinciding with the coordinate axis. So second step is rotation. After this, after this, perform the rotation about the specified axis. This is again perform rotation about the specified axis. Here we are rotating with respect to z axis. So this is the third step. So after that, perform the inverse rotation. Perform the inverse rotation which was done in step 2. So perform the inverse rotation. So here I was rotating from this positive value of theta, and here I'm doing the negative value of theta, which I'm performing the inverse rotation. Again perform the inverse translation. Again perform the inverse translation to bring back to its original position. So these steps are there. So in the previous step, where it was coordinating with one of the axes, so that's why there we had only three operations: uh, translation, rotation, inverse translation. But here we are adding two more extra steps. So first thing is we are bringing the object so that the rotation axis will pass through the coordinate origin. Then we are performing the rotation where the axis of rotation will coincide with the coordinate axis. Then we'll perform the rotation around the axis that is being specified. Then we'll perform the inverse rotation and inverse translation. So additional steps. So in the previously we just performed the rotation in 3 steps, but we are taking 5 steps here. So these are the steps that are involved whenever you're dealing with objects where the object is to be rotated about an axis, but that axis is not parallel with any of the coordinate axis. So first thing is translate the object so that the rotation axis passes to the coordinate origin. The second step is rotate the object about the axis of rotation, which will coincide with the coordinate axis. Third step is to perform the rotation about um, the selected coordinate axis, here x-axis, y-axis, or z-axis, based on the axis of rotation which it is aligned. After this, perform the inverse rotation to get that object back to its original position, original orientation, not the original position, original orientation. So after that, perform the inverse translation to bring the object back to its original position, to bring the object back to its original position. So these are the steps that are involved in this general three dimension rotations. So now um, so five steps are there. So um, so for this we can compute few steps. So there are few steps which we can do it in mathematical notation. So first step is we had 2 points. We had 2 points P2, P1. So here all the calculations can be done by using the rotation axis vector. So here um, we can compute the vector rotation axis vector v as a difference between p2 minus p1. So which is in turn the difference between the x component, y component, z component. So uh, z2 minus z1. So we know that since we need to perform additional computations. So first thing is we can compute the axis of vector rotation v by the formula v is equal to difference between those 2 points, which is given by difference of x component, y component, z component. And also next we have found the difference. The next thing is unit rotation axis vector. Next we'll calculate the unit rotation axis vector, which is given by uh, u is equal to the vector v by the modulus of vector v vector v, which is nothing but a comma b comma c, where a is the x component, x2 minus x1, uh, by the modulus. B is y component by modulus. C is z component by modulus. See, the same thing. I'm just splitting a by b. This one x2 minus x1 were represented as a, b, c. So mm, and also here uh, we want to, what was the first step? The first step which we did was to uh, bring the bring the this rotation axis to the origin. So the first step which we followed here was bringing this position p1 to the origin, which was first step was to bring this position from the rotation axis to the origin. So uh, so it involved the translation. It will involve the translation. So for this, the translation value can be given by, for this the translation can be given by, the translation matrix can be given by um, inverse translation. No, we were moving from some position to origin, so it will be minus x1 minus y1 minus z1 1, and the other components were 0 except diagonals. So diagonals will be 1 1 1 1. So 0 0 0 0 0. So this was a transformation matrix. So this transformation matrix was used to bring from that position to the origin position. So after this, after this, what is the next step? So now we found out, now we found out the unit rotation vector and the transformation. The next step was the next step which we did was the next step which the next step which we did was see, the first step was the transformation, the first step was the translation, which we found by the translation matrix. The second step was rotation, the next step was the rotation. So now how do we calculate this rotation? So the second step was to perform the rotation onto the z axis. So um, in this example, you are bringing this p2 dash along the z-axis. You are performing the rotation along the z-axis. The same thing I have copied the figure. So now this image. So what we are doing means first you are rotating. So how you are performing? First, how you are performing? The first step was the translation. The second step was the rotation about the z-axis. So how we are doing means first we are rotating this object. I mean this vector u along the x-axis, then along the y-axis. So first we are rotating about the x-axis and then we are rotating about the y-axis. So the x-axis rotation for this vector will give us the vector u into the xz plane, and the y-axis rotation will get this u around z-axis. So we performed the rotation first about the x-axis and then about the y-axis. The x-axis rotation gets this vector u into the xz plane, and the y-axis rotation will swing this u to the z-axis. So we performed two things. So now here we should know two things. When you are performing the vector dot product, when you are performing the vector dot product, you will get cost term. So cost term can be determined by performing the dot product, and the sign term can be obtained by performing the cross product. So dot product will give us the cost term, cross product will give us the sign term. So if you want to calculate cost term, use vector dot product, and if you want to calculate sign term, perform vector cross product. So now we are rotating this vector by an angle alpha, and the position of this uz is given by 0 0 1. So now we are performing the rotation by an angle alpha, which is in the yz plane, and um, the vector is given by, and the vector is given by uh, 0 0 1. So now in this case we can find out this cos alpha as cos alpha is equal to u dash, and we are rotating about u dash uz divided by uh, the modulus of its component. So this is the cos z, which is like adjacent by hypotenuse. We have calculated it as adjacent by hypotenuse, which we can write it as d, c by d, where d is equal to square root of b square plus c square. So like this we can write. So what we did means, first thing is we were rotating the u around the x-axis into the xz plane, which was accomplished by rotating the u dash through the angle alpha onto the z-axis. So what we did, so if this u was in the yz plane, which was represented by the vector um, given by 0 B, C, where X component is 0. Then we were able to determine the cos, where we were able to determine the cos alpha, which is given by um, U dash UZ divided by their determinants, which is equal to C by D, where D is the um, magnitude, which is calculated by B square plus C square. So now we found out cos alpha. Now if I want to find cos alpha is found out, I want to find the sine. If I want to find sine alpha means I should perform the cross product. So cross product of U dash cross product into UZ is equal to U dash cross product of UZ is equal to along the x-axis into U dash determinant UZ determinant into sine alpha. So this is the formula to obtain sine alpha, and in and the and also the Cartesian uh, form of this cross product will be U dash into UZ is equal to UX dot B. So now if you compare this right hand term, now if you compare this right hand term, so u dash into uz are equal, and here ux and ux will get cancelled, so you can write it as c. I'm equating this to equation when 1 is equal to 2 means ux dot b is equal to ux into u dash uz sine alpha. So ux got cancelled. So u dash into u determinant of u dash into determinant of uz is given by d. So you can replace this with d. So for simplification, b will be equal to d into sine alpha. So cos alpha we are given as c by d. Sine alpha will be b by d. So that is the formula to calculate sine alpha cos alpha. So now we have determined the values of cos alpha, sine alpha with respect to the vector u, So since for this the matrix element, since we have found out sine alpha cos alpha. What is sine alpha? B by d. Cos alpha is b by d, c by d. So since we have found out the values of sine and cos in terms of the matrix vector matrix u, so the rotation matrix along the x-axis, the rotation matrix along the x-axis is represented by this formula. This is rotation matrix along the x-axis. How I got this formula means you can check the transformation matrix. So what was the transformation matrix which I had written? One transformation matrix when it is around x-axis. X-axis means see 1 0 0 0 0 cos theta minus sin theta 0. So 1 0 0 0 0 cos theta minus sin theta 0. Again this will be 0 0 0 0 0 1, and here it will be, we'll check that also for your confirmation. So sin theta cos theta. So uh, sin theta cos theta. So now wherever this cos theta is there, replace by c by d. Wherever sin theta is there, replace by b by d. You'll get this matrix in terms of bn c1 0 0 0 0. Cos theta is there, I'm substituting c by d. Sin theta is there, I'm substituting minus b by d. So in this way you're getting the matrix. You're getting the matrix in terms of so you're getting the matrix in this format. So in this way you are getting the matrix with respect to c and d, and the same way and the same way um, and the same way now So after getting the values, next the next step is to rotate. Uh, next step is to rotate this unit vector into the xz plane around y-axis. So in this way, we need to calculate the angle beta. We need to calculate the rotation angle beta. So when you're performing this, here u dash is given by a0d and uz is given by 0, 0, 1. So here when you perform this, the cos beta, you need to find cos beta. Here we are rotating the unit vector into the xz plane and around the y-axis around the y-axis. So now we need to find the rotation angle beta. Um, so now cos beta will be u double dash into uz by its determinant u double dash uz. But previously we got it as c by d, no, but here the determinant u dash and u double dash and uz is equal to 1. The determinant is equal to 1, so it will be, you will get it as u dash into uz only. So this will be like u dash uz only. So this u dash uz is nothing but d. Similarly, sine beta is equal to how we got sine beta means the u dash into uz cross product is equal to, see, the same formula here. U dash into uz is equal to, I was using rotation about x-axis, so ux, now it will be uy uy uy, and then the determinants u double dash uz into uh, sine sine beta. So this term will be 1. So if you simplify this, u dash into uz will be equal to uy into uh, sine sine beta sine beta. And similarly one more equation, u dash into uz is equal to uy in terms of coordinate system, uy into minus a. So again equate this equation 1 and 2. If you equate equation 1 and 2, uy into sine beta will be equal to uy into minus a. Y get cancelled. So sine beta is equal to minus a. So here we got cos beta as d and sine beta as minus a. So for this rotation about the y-axis, what is the rotation about the y-axis? Matrix rotation about the y-axis means cos theta sine theta minus sine theta cos theta. You remember these 4 points: cos theta sine theta minus cos theta, sorry, cos theta sine theta minus sine theta cos theta. So cos theta sine theta minus sine theta cos theta. After this we are filling with 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. So this was the term which we got. So we'll confirm once. Rotation about the y-axis, cos theta sine theta minus sine theta cos theta. So cos theta sine theta minus sine theta cos theta. So now the same thing. So cos beta is equal to d, sine beta is equal to minus a. So cos beta is equal to d, sine beta is equal to minus a. So wherever cos theta is there, replace with d. So the matrix which you will get is d 0, sine theta means minus a, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Minus sign means minus of minus will become plus 0. Cos theta means d, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So this is how you will get this rotation matrix around the y-axis. Similarly, if you are rotating the object with respect to angle theta around the z-axis, you will get this formula. you'll get this formula: cos theta sin theta minus cos theta minus sin theta cos theta. So this is the third step. So this is the third step. So mm, see, uh, first step. So first step was to translate from point P to origin. So for that first step. So the second step was to perform the translation such that it will coordinate with the axis. It will coordinate with the axis. So for that we found Rx of alpha, Rx of alpha. So that was my second step. So we were for where we found the rotation with respect to x and y. So this was my second step. The third step was rotation about the z-axis here. Rotation about the z-axis, the third step. So that is given by um, rz of theta. So this is rotation about the axis. So after that, after that we'll perform. After that we'll perform the inverse rotation. After that we'll perform the inverse rotation and inverse translation. So 5 steps are there. So all these 5 steps are summarized here. All the 5 steps are summarized here. The first step was we performed the inverse translation, then the rotation. So okay, sorry, I have written reverse. The first step was the translation from the some point to the origin, rotation about x and y axis. The third step, rotation about the z axis. Then again the inverse translation to get back to its original orientation and inverse translation. See all these 5 steps. So these 5 steps were involved in translating that object. I mean, in rotating that object. For that, they performed 5 steps, and all the mathematical representation is being given here. So, these are the steps that are involved whenever you want to rotate an object where the line of axis will not coincide with that. So in addition to this, see that this is the general rotation. See, this is the general rotation form. So this is the composite matrix rotation sequence for three-dimensional rotation, which is given by R11, R12, R13. Like this, they are represented in a 3 cross 3 matrix. So this 3 cross 3 matrix, this 3 cross 3 matrix is an orthogonal matrix where when you multiply this with R111, here the x component will be 1, the other components will be 0. Here the y component will be 1, the other components will be 0. Here the z components will be 1. So if you multiply R with R11, so R11 will lead to 1, the R12 and the other products will lead to 0. So and also we have few more equations. Assuming that if you assume that the rotation axis is not parallel to any coordinate axis, then the unit vectors can be like u2 dash will be equal to u and uy dash. So this is uz dash will be equal to uy along the y-axis. It will be like u into ux by determinant of u into ux, and ux dash will be equal to uy dash into uz dash. So if you're representing ux dash as ux1 dash, ux2 dash, ux3 dash, so that will be represented in terms of matrix. So if ux dash is equal to ux1 dash, ux2 dash, ux3 dash, so that can be written in the composite matrix format. So this R is equal to Ry of beta, then Rx of alpha, Rx of alpha. So here Ux dash is represented by this, and this 3 will represent Uy dash, and this 3 will represent Uz dash. So these are the operations that have been um, done for rotating an object. So all these equations you just try to practice this. You just practice this equation on so many mathematical uh, calculations are there. So so many mathematical calculations are there. So you just try to practice this. You just try to practice this. I'll stop the class now. Just stop the class. Um, so